We're Paul and Katie McPherson, and we've lived in our home for about 7 years now, and we finally decided that this was the year that we needed to
get a new yard.
The first phase of our project was we had Jonathan come over and kind of help us map out what we were envisioning and kind of start mapping out how we could change up our yard to make it fit more our style.
So we knew we kind of wanted like a darker rock Colorado vibe, but as far as like coming up with the concept ourselves, we had no idea where to start. Even pulled in Donnie Pickford from San Juan Nurseries.
He would say, well, yeah, that might look great, but you might have these problems later on. The longevity of that isn't going to be there.
We weren't even thinking water feature in the beginning, and then Jonathan was like, no, we want this thing running all the way down the driveway, and we were like, is that possible? I still had no concept of how it was going to come together. We just had to stay out of it and let them do their thing at a certain point because their ideas were better than ours.
So what we're doing here is a Telluride theme. Mountain shafts, mining, that's what we're going for. We got the old reclaimed lumber. We got the big boulders. Getting the pond ready. We want this to make it look as natural as possible. We want it to just be something that you just drove by in the mountains. It's the same thing we're going for here. Today we're putting in all the pipes, liner, and everything for a water feature. We got a 40-foot water feature. We got a big basin. This is going to be a pondless system.
This is the tank that we have here, and we're going to put down into this hole so we can pull the water from this hole all the way up to the top.
The plastic pieces in here are matrices. What they allow is weight to be on them, so a grown man could walk and step on that, no issues with falling through. Just taking our time, make sure every rock is placed with care, right? We want to make sure everything looks like as natural as possible. That's the key. We don't want to have it look like a Martian came and dumped it here in your front yard.
Do you remember the day the waterfall turned on?
Yeah.
We got water. Never a bad thing to have water, right?
It's like it finally was like all coming together. And then a couple weeks after that is when all of the plants and trees and shrubs and things started to come in.
Hey, Donnie from San Juan Nurseries came up today to see the water feature, check out the landscape, see what we need to do to add some vegetation, soften things up, and finish this project up. I like the variation of having underwater lights and having some of them that are exposed.
We had Donnie with San Juan Nurseries out here. He did a killer job picking out some great plants for this landscape. Soften that rock, giving it that nice, simple feel and that natural feel. So what we have is a bunch of daylilies, some blonde ambition grasses. We got the hibiscus, some blue spruce. We're gonna have a pathway that walks around these aspens to give that forest feel like we're walking in the forest. Same way as you do it in any trail in the San Juan Mountains, any mountain range. We're gonna come down the hill, it's gonna wrap around these plants, and this vegetation is just gonna engulf us. The customer's gonna be able to grow into the landscape, and that's what's gonna be key here, is to have these plants grow up with them as their kids grow up, get a little taller, you know, 30-foot aspens here in the front yard. It's gonna be killer.
Today we're doing some of the final cleanups and touches for the rock wall we got going on here. We're installing a few of the last plants, placed the last of a few boulders and rocks just to cover up any kind of dirt spots and stuff that we have. We're laying the mulch up and against all the trees and the rocks, and that's pretty much it for the day. Just some final touch-up, just make sure everything looks perfect and beautiful for the rest of the landscaping.
so cool that that was our yard. It totally changed the way that our home looked from the outside.
As we enhanced our home environment, it made being here a lot more enjoyable. We cannot recommend AMF enough. All that you need is an idea and a concept, and those guys can just run with it. They're true artists. They really did like produce our dream yard, and it was done right, and we couldn't be more grateful for the results.